Okay, page 296, number 15, the gardener. The gardener surrounds a 4 by 8 meter rectangular flower bed with a border of mulch of uniform width. There is enough mulch to cover 28 meters squared. How wide is the border? Let's draw a little diagram to make sure that we understand what we're talking about here. We've got, what is it, a flower bed? Yes, a flower bed. So we've got a rectangular flower bed, and you're going to put a bunch of mulch or whatever. So here's my flower bed there, and I'm going to put my mulch on the outside. So what do I know? I know that this is 4 meters by 8 meters. And I know that the length and the width here have a relationship. The length, I'm just going to call this x. I don't know what I'm going to call this yet, but I'm just going to do a little bit of thinking here. This space in here is 32 square meters, and I know that because 4 times 8 is 32. So that's 32 square meters. This space out here, by definition, was going to be 28 square meters. So the grand total area of this entire region here is going to be the 32 plus the 28, which is 60 square meters. So length times whatever this is going to equal 60. Length times width equals 60. Now we're only going to call, I'm calling width x, so length times x equals 60. So length equals 60 over x. I'm just dividing both sides here by x. So the length is 60 over x. So 60 over x is what I can call this. So now I know my length and my width, and I know a bunch of measurements here. That's in meters, and this is meters too. The question is, what is this distance here? I think that was the question, how wide is the border? Well, to determine that, I need to be able to plug some of this information into the kind of equation that I can figure out. So, I know that this distance here is the same as this distance here because the border is going to be consistent. And this section here is the same as is here, as is here. They're all the exact same widths. So x, the distance from here to here, x minus 4 is twice this distance. Okay? And so if I know x, I can figure out, just by subtracting 4 and dividing by 2, I can figure out what the border here is. So x minus 4 is going to be the same as this distance here, that distance there, minus the 8. 60 over x minus 8 meters. So what I'm going to actually end up calculating is I'm going to be calculating x, and once I've got x, I can subtract the 4, and that'll give me the combination of this side plus this side. And I'll just split that in half, and I get the border distance. So I can solve for x then. There are other ways of setting this up, but this way I'm just using length and width here as x. So I can solve for x. It'll end up being a quadratic because I'm going to have to multiply everything through by x to get x out of here. And then when I solve for x, I'm going to have this distance. I'm going to have to subtract the 4, and I'll have the combination of these two, and I'll cut it in half, and I'll get my answer.